Well, hi there again, Tina Jessen again. This is part 2 of the Visibility Creator free training program. I had to break it up into 2 parts because I found I was I'd gone through half an hour already, and I don't want to make this file too big for you to download, so do apologise for that and cutting it off halfway through. I was about halfway through my top 10 tips on getting the media to come to you. So I've done the first 5, and now we're on to step 6. Know your competition. Now, I don't want you to get obsessive about what your competition is doing, but do be aware of when they're in the media and in the news, because you can leverage that. And let me give you my 5 tips on how you can do that. Agree with them more than you disagree. Nothing like building your credibility. Keep it very professional, and look to expand on the point. Like they've only just scratched the surface, but you can go into much more depth and detail. So that's a very good way of leveraging your expertise over and above that of your competition. Secondly, develop a new angle based on what you've read about what they're doing. Again, it's trying to come up with something new and exciting, and it gives you a bit of an in. And it also informs you what people are writing about and interested in right now. Top tip 3 is be inspired by them. If you're seeing their feature spurs you into action to do something, then that's got to be a good thing. Top tip number 4 is find a way to collaborate or partner. Now, this might not be as difficult as you think, and then again it might be difficult. It's up to you. If you find somebody doing the same thing but in a different location, then you could potentially do some cross referral, especially if you have some website traffic that you just can't service. Is there something that they would find of value that you can trade? It could be tricky, but it could work. Worth meeting them to find out, maybe. Top tip number 5. Leverage the differences between you and them. Refine your position and your marketing message. Write an article to explain the differences. You don't even have to mention them by name. Makes good copy for your website. Use it in your marketing materials, and even an article to get out there into the press. So that's my extra 5 tips on how to get the media to come to you. Know your media contacts. Point 7. You need to find out who they are. Usually you need the editor or sub-editor or features writer by name and get their email address. I do all my PR via email. It saves a huge amount of time, and it's very, very effective. If you can find freelance journalists, if maybe they contact you about an article, and you may ask them, are you freelance, or do you write for the publication? If they're freelance, they might want to utilise you again as an expert for a follow-up piece or another assignment or for another publication. And another idea as well, my 3rd tip here, is make sure you get their email address. Email is much better than sending via the post or fax, or even calling by phone, especially if they're on deadline. They don't really like to receive phone calls, but email they will tend to look at. Point 8 for helping the media come to you is making the media your friend. I've been in a great position where the media has come to me, and I hope I am their friend. But that's the way that you really get them to come to you. So offer your expertise as an expert resource. Always, always deliver what you've said you would do, and be reliable. Don't promise something and then don't deliver. Build a good reputation. Always respond quickly. Send a personal thank you note even when you see their article. That doesn't happen very often, and it can build a lot of strong relationships that way. And offer to meet them over coffee. Just the fact you've offered, I mean, they may not take you up on it, but offer it anyway. I mean, a really good fact is that you really need to respond immediately to all your media inquiries. Why? Because they are on deadline, and you are working for them. They are not working for you. They are doing you the favour. So treat it with respect, and you will get a lot of respect back. My 9th tip to helping the media come to you is make sure that you watch, listen and read the media that you want to feature in, because it will give you a good angle on knowing what it is they want and how they would like it presenting. If you pitch to media that you haven't watched or read or listened to, they will identify that, and they won't think very highly of you. So do your homework. That's simple as that. And point 10 is become the expert. This whole idea of being prolific in writing and getting your stuff out there really does help set you apart from your competition as being an expert. Developing things like a newsletter of articles that you can send out specifically to the press, that can be really helpful. Make your website really media friendly, have a media page and information about you and a number that they can always reach you on. If they can't reach you, they will be calling your competition. Don't worry about that, they certainly will be there, so make sure that they get you and get you first. Pitch an idea for a column, or write one anyway and see if it gets picked up. It will give you a great name if you can have a section or a column in a newspaper or a magazine. Write a book on your topic. Now, it's not quite as scary as it sounds, because if you're already writing a lot of material, then it's not a massive step to actually have that published. And published authors always zoom to the top of the expert ranking. And finally, offer yourself as a TV or radio show expert who's happy to be interviewed. And not everybody is happy to be interviewed, especially if it's live stuff. But you really, really must know your stuff, and you must rehearse your message. And this can really damage your reputation if you get it wrong. So make sure you put enough time and effort in if you really want to go down that road. So those are my 10 tips for helping you to get the media to come to you. So what about a couple of more ideas? I've still got 10, 11 and 12 of the sections of my creating the plan, the visibility plan. Create a personal brand you want to be known and associated with, to maximise on those opportunities. As a small business owner or solopreneur, you are your business. You are the face of your business. So you have to work on your personal brand. You'll be working on it if you are consciously doing so or not. So just be really conscious that you do need to have a strong personal brand. It's a very big part of your company. And I would actually say it's more important than having a fancy logo designed. Let me think about this for a second. Let's think about this idea of congruency. You need to make sure that it is about being your authentic self. So, for example, if you don't wear a suit, don't have your business card photograph taken with a suit, or photographs taken when you're wearing the suit, if people never meet you wearing a suit, because they won't recognise you. Likewise, if you're running a gym and you've never used the gym equipment and it shows because you're slightly overweight or something, then that's not very congruent and people won't kind of believe you. So you do need to make sure that your personal brand represents what you're selling in some way. And I would actually spend the money having some good quality photographs taken, more than I would spend money on defining a logo, and put your photograph on your website, because people do business with people, they don't do business with a faceless website. Likewise with your business card, if you can find a way of putting your photograph onto your business card, that can really help people remember who you are. And at the end of the day, that's what business cards are there to do. Building your online profile is another part of getting your visibility plan on the move. We've talked about getting your personal branding sorted out so that when people meet you, it's all congruent and it all represents the brand and the image you want to portray for your business, because you are your business. But your online profile is equally important. You really want to be everywhere that your clients could possibly look. And the media does a lot of research online, so if you've got a strong online presence, there's going to be a high chance of you actually getting picked up on that. So if you find out what your media profile is like right now. What's your online profile like right now? The best way to do that is to go onto google.com. I always like to use Google because it's probably one of the better search engines. Go to google.com and I want you to type in your name. Just type in your name and hit enter and see what comes up. Now, the first question I have for you is or are any of those, does anything come up? And if it does come up, is it you? Is that name you? Now, if unfortunately you have the name, I don't know, say John Smith, very popular name, there might be lots of other people up there that aren't you. But let's assume that there are some listings up there and it is you. Let's check that the listings that are about you are good ones. It's the sort of stuff that you want to be seeing out there. And it hasn't got any embarrassing photographs associated with it from what you were doing at, I don't know, the last work's Christmas party or whatever it might be. So make sure that it's about you and that what's being said about you, you're happy with. Now, it might be that you're listed on various websites, directories. You might need to update those, make sure that you are being updated. Now, this isn't about ego and this isn't about being vain in any way, but by checking your name on Google, it really does show you what other people are seeing on your online profile, what your online profile really is saying. So do check it from time to time. When you start doing your blogging, then you can also start to see how effective that is being. Then I want you to do the same thing on your company name. And again, check that company name, when you see those listings, it is you that's being listed. It's your company and not another company. Now, this is an area of a bit of a grey area, because if it's another company that comes up and maybe they've been established for longer than you have, then you've got to think to yourself, well, am I passing that company off, or am I going to be mistaken for that company? Likewise, if you're out there first to market, why should other companies be getting benefit of your name? So it works both ways, but you do need to make sure that you are the company that is coming up, and then you need to take some steps to make sure that is happening. And going through your blogs is probably the best way of doing that. Now, if you do the same thing with my name, Tina Jesson, Tina Jesson, then you'll see a lot more about me. You'll be able to see some of my credibility, some of the things that I do and have done in the past. In fact, you'll see 15 pages, every link on those 15 pages linking through to me or my business. And again, I'm not saying it's about ego or anything, but you can just see the power of having a strong online profile can actually have for you. It's the easiest way to get that online profile is to blog. And if you're not blogging now, then you need to be. There's some very simple stuff out there that you can use, anyone can use. If you know how to use a word processor and you can write articles, then you need to be inundating the blog sites to raise that online profile. It really, really can work for you. And when you've written those articles and you've got those blogs up there, be that on your own blog site, be it article submission to other people's sites, then you can then start to use Twitter. Now, a lot of people go, Twitter, I've heard about it, I'm not really sure how it works. And again, it does depend if you've got a local business or if you're going more nationally or internationally with the services that you offer. But you can start to get a local following, or a following that's interested in the kind of thing that you produce. And the easiest way to do that is to go onto Twitter, set yourself up with a sensible business-related handle or name to identify yourself on your profile, and then you can start searching for other people that have the kind of words that you're looking for that will niche, so that you have the same interest, so you have the same common interest. And what usually happens, if you follow them, they will follow you as well, and that's how you build a following. And you can get several hundred people very quickly, and it's like quite kind of scary that number of people will be following you. But then when you use Twitter, you need to make sure that when you use it, you only have 140 characters, remember, to actually say anything. And I think gone are the days where it's like, I got up this morning and I had a nice cup of tea, is not the kind of thing people want to hear. But if you say, well, I've got this fantastic article, or I've got this special offer, then you can link that then to a web page or a blog page that takes people to your material. So really, Twitter is there to link to somewhere else, and it's to get a big group of people who are interested in what you have to offer, and are interested in that same kind of subject matter that you are blogging about and writing about and is involved in your business. So that's how I would start to build your online profile. That's how I would recommend that you start to do that. yeah, that's what I would have to say about online profile. But you do need offline profile as well. And at the moment, I'm a big believer that developing the strongest relationships will help seal your deal. And that's my my point number 10 is developing the strongest relationships seals the deal. So part of that is through networking and starting to meet people and starting to get face to face. So you need to do the offline stuff as well as doing the online stuff. It all comes together. It's all part of your visibility. So when you've started to put these things together, you've looked at your unique you, you've started to put together I'm the only, your category of one, you've started to think about your story, you're starting to work with the media, you're starting to get your blogs out there, you're starting to establish yourself to be known for something specific, then you need to start testing that out in what I call the real world. And the real world is through networking. Now, I want to split that out into two words. It's networking. That's working your net of individual contacts. And the best question you can ask when you're networking is this: who do you know who? Now, when you go networking, you're not expecting to sell to the people that you meet, although you may get lucky. But what you're trying to do is open up their network to you. So who do you know who might be able to help me, or who do you know who might be interested in what I do, or who do you know who I might be able to help, are really great questions to ask. And give us gain. So you need to be a good networker yourself. So you need to make a note of the people that you're meeting. A great tip on business card etiquette is to ask for the card of somebody before they ask you for yours. Is always ask first for theirs. Make a few notes on the back of who they're looking for. So who do you know who can help them, and try and help them, because then they will feel obliged to help you back. So if you have that premise when you go networking, make the notes on the back of the business card. Ask for their card first, shows a massive level of interest in what they do and in you helping them. And then they will eventually start to help you too. And it's about joining the dots. Being a good networker is knowing a whole host of people and connecting people, even if they don't go through you, even if they don't, you've not worked with them, or you haven't, there's no, well, if you work with me, then I'll give you this information. I mean, it's not like that. It's, well, this is something I know that I can help you with, and if this is one of the things I can do to help you, then why not? And you're all trying to help each other. And that's the great thing about business networking. But it is working your net, and you do need to work very focusedly on actually doing that. And building that circle of influence and getting known. But you do need to be very precise about what it is you do, what you don't do, and who it is you're looking for. So who it is you actually want to be working with, the kind of people. And it's not everyone. Everyone is not a good answer when you're networking. I'm a printer. Who do you work with? Everyone. No, you don't. You need to specialise. You need to niche, and it comes back to your reason why and the focus and getting all those things in that mix. But then when you go networking, you take that out and you test it all out in that environment. You need to build the relationships, educate people on what you can do before you can sell your service. Right then, so I'm coming on to my final point. I know I said I was going to give you 10, but I have got a final one that I just want to go through, and that's how to achieve expert go-to status, so your competition doesn't even get a look in. I mean, wouldn't that be great? Let me give you an example of how this works. Back in 2001, the Sunday Times, which is one of the UK's leading national newspapers, one of the most respected newspapers, picked up a press release I probably sent them about my company that said, go and have a look at this website. I think that's all I said in the pitch, was go and have a look at this website. And they actually featured me a couple of weeks later, and the business, and it said something along these lines: if this is the level of information you get free from their website, just imagine what level of information and expertise you will access if you pay for their service. Now, that has always stayed true with me. Now, my critics will say that I give away far too much. But what I would say to them is, no. What I do is I build relationships, and I achieve expert status through the materials I freely give away. And this training video, hopefully, is a demonstration of that. I can show you different ways that you can inform and educate your audience to become that expert in your field and get the visibility that wins you clients that will pay money, and you will make money from that process. If you want to know more about how to apply this knowledge and experience in your own business, and every business is different, and I appreciate that, I am running a number of coaching and training sessions online. You get workbooks so you can actually work through all this stuff and apply it for your business. It's no good knowing this unless you can apply it. I recommend that you spend at least one day a week. One day a week. It could be a Saturday, it could be a Monday, it doesn't matter what day of the week it is, just one day. It could be a few hours every day over the course of a week. But one day a week on your business, working on it. Not in it, not doing it, but on it. So you're doing your planning, you're doing your visibility plan, you're getting your articles, you're generating interest, you're setting yourself up as an expert. And that way you can grow your business. I can work with you. I can work with a few of you. Obviously, I'm only one person, but I can work with a few handpicked clients to help them write press releases and to provide the tools that they can either do it for themselves or they can engage me to do it. Now, I don't mind either way. I really don't mind, as long as it's done and as long as I can help businesses get out there, get the edge, get visible, and start attracting clients and winning those sales. So keep getting those newsletters. I'll keep sending out some valuable information, and I look forward to working with you one-on-one in the future. But please, 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 whatever you do, take note from what you've learned today, start applying it for your business, start your visibility plan, and here's to getting visible.